If you can even squeeze into that gown, I'll marry you right now.
The moment the words left his mouth, the ballroom erupted in laughter. At the edge of the room stood a hotel cleaner, Naomi Carter, dressed in a worn gray work uniform, a cleaning cart beside her, fingers gripping the handle like it was the only thing keeping her upright. Under the chandelier, glowing beneath the spotlight, hung the most expensive crimson evening dress of the night. The man holding court was the world-famous designer Julian Cross. He lifted his champagne glass, his smile polished and merciless. "What's wrong?" he scoffed. "Too scared?" Naomi didn't answer. She lowered her eyes and quietly walked away as the laughter followed her across the marble floor, louder with every step. But there was no humiliation in her eyes, only the cold, steady clarity that comes from being underestimated one time too many, because none of them knew. The woman they were mocking would soon leave them speechless. The next morning at 5:30 a.m., the alarm blared. Naomi stared at the peeling ceiling of her tiny apartment in South Phoenix, her body heavy with exhaustion. For a brief moment, she considered staying in bed. Then hunger answered for her. Pride doesn't cover rent. She poured herself a cup of watery coffee. At the small kitchen table, her mother sat silently, hands folded. "Didn't sleep again?" she asked gently. Naomi shook her head. "I'm fine." On the old television, the news replayed clips from the previous night's fashion gala. "Last night's most talked about piece," the reporter said. "Julian Cross's red gown is set to appear at a private auction." Naomi froze. Her mother looked at her, understanding more than words ever could. "You were there last night, weren't you?" Naomi didn't respond. That dress burned in her memory, not as something she wanted, but as something that hurt. She turned off the TV and whispered, "One day I'll wear something made on my own terms." She took the bus to work, surrounded by people discussing bills, layoffs, survival. Outside the window, gyms, cosmetic clinics, perfect bodies plastered on ads. She didn't feel jealousy. She felt a hunger for dignity. After her shift, she didn't go home. She stopped in front of a small, aging gym tucked between shuttered shops. A sign on the door read, "First week free. Change starts today." She hesitated, then stepped inside. The air smelled like sweat and iron. A strong, calm female trainer approached her. "First time?" Naomi nodded. "I want my life back." The trainer studied her for a moment. "If you're serious, I'll help. But you don't skip days." Naomi didn't flinch. "I won't." From that moment on, her life became brutally simple. By day, she cleaned hotel hallways and conference rooms. By night, she trained until her legs trembled, until standing felt optional. 2 years passed. She missed holidays, lost friendships, stared at herself in mirrors at 2 a.m., wondering if she was chasing a fantasy. People doubted her. Some laughed. Once, when she was ready to quit, someone told her quietly, "You can move slowly, just don't stop." She never forgot that. 2 years later, Naomi was stronger, not just physically. She had built her own brand, Iron Resolve. No beauty standards, no begging for approval. Just strength, honesty, and bodies that refused to apologize. The brand took off, quietly, relentlessly. And then, the same hotel, the same ballroom, only this time the lights felt different. The host's voice echoed across the room. "Please welcome tonight's keynote investor, founder of Iron Resolve, Naomi Carter." The room exploded in applause. Naomi stepped onto the stage wearing a deep emerald gown, structured and powerful, made for no one's gaze but her own. In the crowd, Julian Cross stiffened. He knew her. His smile cracked. His glass shook. Naomi looked out and said calmly, "2 years ago, I was told I didn't belong in this room." She paused. "So I built one where I couldn't be dismissed." Behind her, screens lit up, contracts, numbers, headlines. Julian's face drained of color. Naomi continued, "I'm not here to prove anything. I'm here to say this. Women who are mocked don't need rescuing. They need space to rise without being crushed." Silence wrapped the room. Julian stood abruptly. "This is ridiculous." Naomi met his eyes, steady and calm. "You taught me something," she said softly. "Real talent never asks permission." The room erupted. Julian walked out. No one followed. No one looked back. Later that night, Naomi stood before a mirror, smoothing the fabric of her dress. she whispered. This was never about clothes. It was about a life that refused to break. Because confidence is never granted, and worth has never belonged to anyone else's judgment. If this story reminds you of the version of yourself the world once ignored, like it, share it, and pass it to someone who needs to hear it.